And welcome back, everyone, to the return. It's the long-awaited return. You've all been drooling at the mouth, foaming like rabid animals for it, of the Dragon Ball Z What Ifs. We got three lined up. The first one that was chosen from the poll was, what if Goku had landed on King Kai's planet? This one comes to us from Rogue Gamer, the one. And yeah, that was it. um, Anywho, so Goku landing on King Kai's planet. How does that work? Well, it works more or less in the same fashion as we kind of determine him landing on, say, Beerus's planet will work. Because they exist outside the standard universal spectrum. It is all one giant universe, yes, but there's layers to the universe. It would have to involve some level of wormhole, time warp shenanigans, whatever. Something that allows a opening from one part of the universe to the next part of the universe, the other realm of the universe. And so Goku landing there, I'll say this, it's probably far more feasible for Goku to land on King Kai's planet than it is on Beerus's planet. I think that we can all agree on. But I think what really comes from this is that King Kai, remember, King Kai watches the entire North Galaxy, which would include the Saiyans, everything going on with them, and he would have watched the destruction of Planet Vegeta with Frieza doing that. So he's watching. No, the Saiyans, ruthless as they may have been, they did not deserve such an unceremonious end. Bubbles, let's make some tea. And just, boss, what is it? What, Gregory? I'm sensing something. Yeah, now that you mention it, there is something coming our way. What is that? Ah! My car! Ah! What happened? How the heck did this thing get here? Wait, is this a Saiyan? This is a Saiyan pod. And so this is a Saiyan pod. And so Goku, I think that would be hilarious if it landed on his car. To be fair, though, I mean, when the ship lands, it creates a solid-sized crater. I mean, there's a possibility if that ship had landed at the same force it landed on Earth, or as it usually lands on other planets, it could have blown up the planet. But so actually, there you go. Everyone's dead. No, but I think because of like the whole planetary, atmospheres and all that, different realms, and all, I think you can say it still cratered the car. So I still think that happened. Is it? Wait, is this a Saiyan pod? But they were all wiped out, save for a few of them. Vegeta, Prince Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz are still alive, and I believe there's that issue on the Vampa, but I did not sense this one coming. And I was like, well, let's open it up, and then it opens up. It's a Saiyan child. Well, hello there. Let's see here now. Does this? I've never guessed this or answered this question myself because I don't think there is an answer for the question. Because there's still tech in there. That's still a functioning ship with a computer, all that. Do we think there's information on Goku himself in there, like this is the Saiyan Kakarot, such and so forth? Do you think like he could learn anything from the ship besides how to fly it? I don't know. I assume there is some sort of onboard computer on there, but I don't know if it's carrying any information on Goku himself. So who knows? But let's see here. Hello, little one. I'm King Kai. You're clearly too young to be able to talk yet, but I'm the guy who owns this planet. Well, he certainly is saying, get him out. Okay, that's it. He sees Bubbles like, Mother! It just starts chasing him. Eventually, though, I still see Goku hitting his head. I think that's very. And King Kai maybe has to, sorry, kid. Boom! Oh! Just knocks him out there. Well, you're not coming now. Well, I suppose you should get you something to eat. Of course. Now. That's actually the question. Does King Kai just materialize his food? We know that the ability to just make things exist in Dragon Ball. It's some form of magic. Actually, does King Kai know magic? I don't think that's ever been addressed. It would make sense that the Kais do know magic. We know that Supreme Kais have certain levels of magical abilities. So does King Kai? Because otherwise the question would be, where the hell does he get his food from? We know he has food. We know he keeps food there. Does he just restock his food with magic? Or does he have someone like a grocery guy come in every once in a while? So many questions we're now asking about King Kai and what he does. I am going to go under the assumption that he's able to materialize food. It's like, well, you are a Saiyan, so I might as well get that appetite stocked up. Well, you are a cute little guy. Still, we should probably find you a home. But isn't Planet Vegeta been destroyed? Yeah, good point. I suppose we could drop him off on one of the other neighboring planets, Namek or Earth. He couldn't do well on Earth. It's like, oh, but you are a little cute guy. Oh, are you thinking of being that Dad? Me? I mean, no, I'm a Kai. I've never thought about it really. Which again, it's a good question. We know actually that the Supreme Kais, I think they're born from a special process. Like they're almost, I think it's like a fruit. If I've ever described it, it's like a fruit on a tree which births the Supreme Kais. But the lesser Kais, I'm not exactly sure how they come into being. And we know that they do have different sexes. There are female Kais and male Kais. My guess is too they do have reproductive organs. We've never seen or heard anything about it, but I'm guessing that is the case. So they could at least have the relations if they wanted to. But to be fair, I'm not 100% sure that they'd want to, because they're pretty much all related. So I think that'd probably be your. We know Old Kai certainly has a lust for the ladies. So I guess that's probably why they wouldn't, because that's incest technically. Again, we're asking so many questions about Kai lore that we probably don't think about very often. So King Kai ultimately said, well, one of the last Saiyans. It's our chance to guide. We have one of the last Saiyans here, and we have the chance to guide him on a road that would be good for him and the rest of the galaxy, universe or galaxy. Very well. I suppose we can let him stay here. And so Goku is now raised by King Kai. Now we will fast forward to the beginning of the actual Dragon Ball story. Real quick, let's just get the whole. In fact, I'm not even going to go over. I'm going to just speed through Earth and what's going on there and stop at the point Goku's going to get involved. Bulma still looks for the 4-star Dragon Ball, and I think, as usual, Gohan actually accompanies her. I think it's like, I haven't had a bit of an adventure in some time. It'd be good to stretch these old bones out. And so he comes. Besides, it would be inappropriate for a gentleman to let a young lady go out on her own, even if she is a capable one. So just consider me your bodyguard. At first, Bulma's like, well, that's very nice. But then when she sees him tackle, I think it was a dinosaur of some kind he fought. Dinosaur person, or it was just some sort of anthropomorphic creature. He just, okay, no, the old guy can come. Just no, I wouldn't dare. And now I've seen me, Mr. Roshi. Oh, go on, my boy. Haven't seen you in some time. Well, how you been? I'm fine. Just accompanying this little lady on a little adventure. Adventure, huh? What do you mean adventure? And so they explain. Oh, wait, I could get some real money for that thing. And so oh, come on, Master. Oh, very well. And so they go through the motions. He beats the hell out of Yamcha, but Yamcha's still chasing after him. Although, to be fair, he chased after Goku because he learned he had a weakness. He can exploit the weakness. Gohan, he's just an old guy, but he could easily beat the hell out of Yamcha. Hell, Gohan was still strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Goku after the second tournament. And Goku's power, if I'm not mistaken, was in the neighborhood. Well, was that when that happened? It was either before or after. Yeah, I think it was afterwards. Either way, Goku's power was far greater then, which means Gohan actually... And while Goku was still the stronger of the two, Goku was stronger of the two between... While Goku was the stronger of the two between Gohan, he put up a really good fight against a stronger Goku who was stronger than Roshi at that point. So even though Roshi was considered the strongest man in the world, it's actually possible Gohan was stronger than him. But we don't have a firm power level on Gohan that I'm aware of, so we can just speculate on that. Still, I don't know if Yamcha would be following as much there. Though he might. He's like, no, I still want those Dragon Balls. And then he beat Boss Carrot. Honestly, even the Pilaf gang and then Fire Mountain, which Gohan probably actually can just help out there instead of getting Roshi. Unfortunately, he's still able to he still destroys the castle, but whatever. With that said, however, as I said, Pilaf gang, I think, is just flat out taken care of. Gohan is smart enough to aim the Kamehameha at the glass, not the walls, Goku. And to be fair, it was an imperfect Kamehameha, too. So, but yeah, a mastered Kamehameha at the glass would probably break through the glass. Also, I think Gohan's far more powerful and more agile than Goku at that time. So I don't believe he'd probably get like, hi, puppy baby. You want to know? It's a lazy day. She says, I want attention, but I also want to just snooze. It's warm out. Actually, it's not bad out today. A side note, it's really not bad temperature-wise out. It's actually quite nice. I'll try to get some more work done in the garage. Clean out my garage right now, and it's a pretty big mess in there, so it's a day-to-day process. But yeah, I'll get there out there after I'm done here. I digress. So that would lead into, after the fact, Bulma gets her wish. Now, does she wish for the strawberries or the boyfriend? Because she's still probably crushing on Yamcha, she probably wishes for the strawberries. So I think that happens. Perfectly harmless wish. So there you go. Then Roshi trains Krillin. There's no Goku in the martial arts tournament, so someone else, either a no-name or Yamcha, tries and fails. Krillin probably makes it all the way to the end and gets his ass kicked by Roshi. This leads into the Red Ribbon Army arc, but because both Gohan and Roshi are around. See, this is the one where it gets a little bit more tricky. Goku kind of one-man armied the army, but if you factor both Roshi and Gohan into the mix, hearing about, what's going on in the Red Ribbon Army and just having to deal with them as such, and Krillin as well, maybe having to be brought into the frame, I think it'd be a lot more like kind of like a squad. Like they have to bring the army down. Like they're gone too far, and we're the only ones who can stop them at this point. And Roshi at first, we even know Roshi didn't want to get involved. They went to his island, and then he just caught bullets out of the air. Gohan, they might even do the same thing because he finds the 4-star ball again, maybe. And so they go. I think Gohan, it's less likely they're able to take him than Roshi because they used Bulma as, I think, a hostage in that scenario. Whereas here, it's just like, no. Please leave my property now. It's like, you're going to give us that? I'm afraid not. And then it just beats the hell out of them. Which means they get drawn into the fight. Krillin also is probably also being drawn into it, being, student Roshi and, fighting bad guys is kind of what they do. So even though it would be a long, hard fight, including with Blue and Tao, particularly Tao. Tao literally killed Blue with just his tongue by pressure pointing him. Mercenary Tao is probably the biggest one. I think this is actually where Krillin gets a bit more of an arc, because Krillin probably meets both those characters whose name I forget, nearly gets killed, but makes it all the way to Korin, ends up, doing the test, and then killing Tao. And then they ultimately beat Silver. So that means Krillin is now kind of the Goku of the story, at least when it comes to Dragon Ball at this point. The next tournament comes. Both Roshi and Gohan decide to participate. Gohan probably stayed out of it the first time, but with the Crane School being involved, I think it's Gohan. Gohan decides to come out of retirement. Now remember, as I stated, I think Gohan actually is stronger than Roshi at this point. I mean, at least in terms of like their base form and base power levels, Roshi can still do the buff form. It's just temporary. So when like Roshi fights Tien, that goes the same. But Krillin he's not as strong as Goku, but he's stronger than he was, I think, in the original. So he's about halfway there. And Gohan is maybe around the same strength. Maybe that's where I'd put Krillin, around the same strength as this Gohan, who's not quite as strong as Goku, but still strong enough to give him a fight. So maybe they have to duke it out. Krillin wins, and then it ultimately comes down to Krillin versus Tien. And here's the thing: Shin tried to assassinate Goku while he slept, but Goku was able to react in time because he found out he killed Tao. If he found the same thing out here in Krillin, would Krillin be able to do that? I think because Gohan they're maybe sharing the same room, like because they're not trusting Shin. I imagine they're not trusting the Crane School at all. I think maybe Gohan saves his ass, and that's when Krillin wakes up and then has to kind of like square off a little bit. So they end up fighting. And Chaozu ends up cheating, and then Tien's like, "No, Chaozu, stop it! I want this to be fair." And so they end up fighting, but Tien legitimately just takes the win, because he is just outright stronger than Krillin here. But Krillin's, he acknowledges Krillin as a worthy opponent. They got a good rivalry going. Great, wonderful. Cut back to Goku on King Kai's planet. Goku has been living a very interesting life. He's been trained very well by King Kai. He is exceptionally skilled. Now, in terms of what Goku can do and how strong he is, in terms of techniques, he has all of King Kai's base techniques down. He's got energy, but he can do ki blast. He can also fly. I think that's important here, that he can just fly naturally. Even though instant transmission is technically a non-canon ability of King Kai, it would make sense that he probably knows it. So I will actually give him instant transmission as well. He does have the Spirit Bomb. And I'll even go so far as to say he can do a single Kaioken. His body is still too young and his power level is not there for heavy Kaioken, but one Kaioken is manageable. In terms of where his power level would lie, that's trickier to figure out. He's grown up on the 10 times gravity of King Kai's planet the whole time, so it's basically the same as growing up on Vegeta. The problem is, it's hard to gauge ultimately where Goku's power lies or where it would go. Because we saw what happened when he had a year on King Kai's and training hard for the Saiyans. And I'm sure he's trained hard before, but remember, his power level is only 10. Actually, I think it's even less than that now I think about it. His power level was 10 at the beginning of Dragon Ball, where he had some training. I think it was like a 2, actually. But, that said, I don't think he's well stronger than King Kai. In fact, I think he's probably more around the lines of not half King Kai, but around 2,000. I say 2,000 is the safe mark, because he's also trained like meditation, mental training, and his body would acclimate to King Kai's planet after a while too. So there's only so much he can train for, and how long he can train for as well. But beyond that, Goku has also gained an understanding for looking at the universe's sensing energy, and looking at all these civilizations. He sees many of the cultures like Earth and Namek, and looks at them and saying, "Cool, looks at him and just like, 'Hey, Dad,' and he's like, 'Hmm?' Because King Kai's his dad at this point. What's with all these worlds? Like, oh, yeah, you've taken notice. I see, Goku. And maybe let's just call him. Say he calls him Goku for easy things. Goku. Well, you see, it's a job of a Kai to be able to observe and observe the observe the universe. Make sure things are going in order. Wait, so you step in? Oh no, I'm not allowed to step in. I have the mandates from Kai. He's much higher than me to just observe and report. And there's but then what's the point? Which is actually a good question. Like, yeah, King Kai, you are a deity of some kind and you watch, but you don't get involved at all. I mean, yes, you also train fighters who die, and maybe if they're lucky, they got a means to come back to life. But it does kind of put what you do into question a little bit. So, I suppose it's a good point. I've never actually thought about it myself, but it's not my. Unfortunately, even if I wanted to get involved, even on the times I have wanted to get involved, and I will admit, Goku, there have been times, as powerful as I may seem, there are beings out there that surpass me completely, that would utterly annihilate me. And he probably like, close your eyes and I'll show you. And he just shows him, you'll see, Goku. Well, you're not, as you probably are already aware, you're not the only Saiyan around. Unfortunately, Even my power would be no match for the level of power these Saiyans possess. Save for maybe your brother. My brother, or save for maybe the long-haired one. He probably doesn't know that this one is his brother, by the way. And then there are the warriors of the Frieza Force, and then Frieza himself, and beyond even him, his father. They're just being, and that's not even getting into the higher level deities such as Lord Beerus. And Goku was just seeing all these men. It's like, wow. And he's like, these guys really are powerful. Indeed, Goku. It's no laughing matter to get involved. You may do good, but you also run the risk. You also run the risk of bringing down the wrath of beings that are far beyond your comprehension. And Goku just looks on, just kind of like shakes a little bit, but that same excitement is like these guys are so strong, and as strong as I am, and Goku can tell he's not strong enough to take a lot of these guys on yet. So, but he kind of gets like, all right then, Dad. Then we're gonna have to. Then we're just gonna have to make that. Then I'm just gonna have to get stronger. Hmm? Like if I'm gonna help people out there, I can't just sit around and watch. It's not who I am. I love you. It's like I love. Not maybe it doesn't say I love you, but let's say you raised me. You raised me to be similar to you, but I'm not just you. I'm a Saiyan, like you said, and it's in my blood to seek battle. But you also raised me to be a good person, and I want to help people. And if beating the bad guys how I help people, then that's what I want to do. And King Kai just kind of just kind of well, I suppose I definitely did raise you to be a good person, Goku. And luckily, you're not bound by the laws of Kais like I am. So I suppose, technically speaking, you can do whatever you want. But I would encourage you. I think we both understand. You're not strong enough to take on some of those greater foes. Not by a long mile. You need to stay and train more, or find new avenues of training. Expand your horizons. Uh, and Speaking of which, why don't we take a look? Why don't we take a look at one of the planets? And he takes a look at Yardrat. As Yardrat is a good place to be training. It's where I picked up the infantry transmission, you understand. But they know far more abilities than that. Things like the spirit fission, or I think they actually have a cloning technique too. Yardrat, or yeah, hold on. Yardrat techniques. Yardrat, Planet Yardrat. Well, yeah, what were their actual tech? I mean, again, instant transmission, which is the most famous one, but spirit fission is actually really cool. And yeah, spoilers, we're probably gonna have him go to Yardrat at some point for training. Basically, a Kai trained Goku is actually a pretty powerful Goku because he's got more than just brute force on his side. Let me see the Yardrats. What techniques else do they have in it? But anyway, I'll figure that out as we're going along. And Goku's just sensing out on the planet, and then he senses something on Earth. It's like actually, there's something going on. They have healing techniques and gigantification techniques. And, I was right, cloning techniques as well. Spirit control. So that's actually that's quite a few bits of abilities that Goku could pick up. So I'll have to keep that in mind for the future parts. But beyond that, as we cross our legs here and have a casual conversation, Goku extends his senses. I was like, "Wait, Dad, there's something going on Earth." He's like, I sense something. It's powerful. Not as powerful as us, but dangerous. Evil. Like the best way I can describe it is what you showed me with Frieza. Evil. Hold on, let me fine tune. I see. So Kami's other half has finally awoken again. Kami is the guardian deity of Earth. He's an Erekian who's well over 300 years old. Unfortunately, back when he first arrived, he was a little bit of a problem. Before he became guardian, he was told he would have to split. Well, I can't remember if Kami was told he had to split himself in half, or he did it because he didn't think he'd be worthy enough to be guardian. I can't remember the exact reason he did it. I'd have to look that up. But he split himself from his negative side centuries ago and sealed him away. Unfortunately, it looks like King Piccolo has arrived, has awakened, and I see you want to go and try to put a stop to it. Wait, can I? Like I told you, Goku, you're not bound by the laws of the Kais. You're simply bound by the laws of your father. It's like, and it's like, just be back before dinner. It's like, thanks, Dad. Oh, and before you go, remember, you can't, they have Dragon Balls on the planet Goku. Unfortunately, Kami and King Piccolo are still completely connected in terms of their spirits and life force. If you kill one, you'll kill the other as well. So if you take care of King Piccolo, you cannot kill him, lest the Dragon Balls be useless. I was like, I understand. All right, let's go. And all right, see you, Bubbles. See you, Greg. I'll be back soon. By the way, does Goku's outfit look the same? I didn't actually stop to think about what is that. I had the thought in my mind before I started, what does his outfit look like? But I didn't actually stop to think on what it looked like. Do I think, for example, it looks like King Kai's or like any of the standard Kai's outfits? I mean, it probably would have to. Although we have outfits like Zamasu's that don't look exactly like that either. I could see it being something like Zamasu's, where it looks more like a fighting gi than anything else, because Goku's more of a warrior. And maybe it has similar colors to it. Maybe it's inverted. You know what? Maybe it looks kind of like Vegito's with his Kai's symbol on the back. And he's even got the, what are they called? The tunic thing? Like the tunic dress thing that you go down there? So that's kind of what Goku looks like. A little bit. So something similar to that. And he shows up just as King Piccolo shows up to claim, because he killed Krillin. Although the only reason he killed Krillin was because he went, well, not the only reason. It was Drum or Tambourine. No, it was Tambourine that killed Krillin because he went back for Goku's power pole. And here that wouldn't be the case. So the attack on the martial artists begins. I think you still get Tien and Roshi and Gohan there. And, they're in trouble. Their attempt to seal King Piccolo fails. Roshi ends up passing away of natural causes. And just like, now it's over. Now it's over. Now you'll hand me the Dragon Ball now. Now the Dragon Ball will be mine. And so will youth. So eternal youth then. And so, I'm sorry, but I can't allow that. And there's Goku saying, what? Who's this kid? Who's this kid? I don't know. Actually, I can see like the old guard dying first, and Chaozu too, because unfortunately Chaozu's not that strong. Roshi and Gohan are dead. As long as Chaozu, it's like, I see. It's like, oh, this is unfortunate. Unfortunately, Goku doesn't have any real healing techniques at this time, although the Kais do have some, like healing or materialization techniques, but I don't know about healing. We'll probably focus more on the healing when it comes to, like the yard rat training. But Goku's like, I'm afraid I can't allow that to allow you to reign supreme on this planet anymore, King Piccolo. A child's going to stop me, please. You really think you have what it takes? Well, I know. Well, your power is pretty impressive for this planet, but unfortunately, I'm a little out of your league. Is that right? And then all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, unfortunately, and I'm not even going on that. Goku's probably only going about 20. He's holding back about like 75%. He's like only he's only like doing like 500 out of his 2000 level of power, not even a Kaioken included. So just boom, boom. And at 500, he beats everyone in Dragon Ball single-handedly with his hands behind his back. And now, don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I promised Dad that I wouldn't kill you. Otherwise, the Dragon Balls wouldn't work, would they? That's right. I'll take my own life. Unless you let me leave right now, I'll take my own life. And then Goku just, no, you won't. Hey, do any of you know that evil containment wave that you've been using? Let me go. And all of a sudden, Goku just, I said, you're gonna have to be quiet. Boom. Well, first, let's get the Dragon Balls and wish these guys back. And so they use the Dragon Balls, bring him back, and King Piccolo's like, no! And Goku quickly takes care of his offspring, just as they kill this brat! And they come after him, and Goku just, boom, 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 just blast, kick, whatever. It's like, you! That's quite enough. Hmm? Oh, you must be Kami. And there they see the old Namekian standing there. Another one? No, there's no need to worry. I am Kami, guardian of the planet. And you're different. You're new.
I can sense a Kai's influence on you. I've never truly met the Kais, but I'm aware of them. I've met and I've spoken with King Kai before. I see you met my son coming. King Kai. I was wondering when you would chime in. I'd say I was under the assumption you were not allowed to get involved. Yes, well, my son here isn't. As I told my son, he's not bound by the rules of the Kai, and he's been really looking to try to make a difference in the universe. Your son, adopted, of course. He's a Saiyan, and I must admit, he's not like other Saiyans. He's got a good heart. I can speak for that. Maybe it's just who he is. Maybe it's because he hit his head as a child. Either way, I won't lie and say I'm not proud of the boy.
I see.
It's like, so you're here to take care of him?
Yes. Yes, I'm here to take care of him.
And Goku is up. You're not going to kill him, are you? If you kill them, both of you die, but the Dragon Balls disappear.
Your father's taught you well. You were even able to sense my intentions. King Piccolo is too dangerous to be left alive. Even if we seal him again, there's no guarantee he wouldn't be brought back.
Well, why don't you let me take him? Yeah, seal him away, and I'll just take him back to King Kai's. What, Goku? We shouldn't have to take on that kind of responsibility. Well, you're not. I am. So, like you said, I'm not bound by the laws of Kai. Fine, but you better keep him safe, and you better water him and feed him. But you better keep him safe. If he gets loose, it's up to you. It's going to be on your ass. It's like,
You would really do that for us?
Yeah, why not? I really want to try to do more. I help you guys. I help the world out. And everyone's just like, wait, what's going on here? It's like,
very well then.
Now, Kami should know how to seal King Piccolo away because he did it before. So they seal him again. All right, I promise you.
Though I must admit, I'm impressed by you, young lad, and your power. I'm getting the impression I didn't even see a third of it.
Well, if I had gone all out, I would have killed him right on the spot.
I see. Really is yours. Yeah, I see. He's taught you well. Of course, if you ever like some training if you'd ever like some training, or
what's the best way to put it? He wouldn't just offer training. I mean, he would offer training, but more like,
I'm always on the lookout for a possible new candidate to replace me.
Thanks, but I don't think guardianship is really my idea.
Still, if there's anything I can ever do for you, a place to stay, training, please, you can visit me on the lookout.
Oh, training, huh? Dad did say I should try to expand my horizons. I might take you up on that offer.
Until then, farewell to all of you.
And everyone's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, hi, I guess we didn't really get introduced. I'm Goku. And he explains, well, yeah, and he explains everything to them, and they're just like, oh, that's insane. Well, I mean, in green, demon people aren't? Good point. So Goku gets to know the group a little bit, and then, heads home for the time being. He puts King Piccolo away, and yeah, there's no Piccolo in this verse. At least no Piccolo that we know. But with that said, he does probably end up visiting Kami's lookout during those years to train with Kami, and even probably goes into the hyperbolic time chamber at one point. And thanks to Kami's and King Kai's training, he doesn't go insane for the first year. So the remaining martial arts tournament would happen. I think though Krillin does surpass Tien at this point, though. He still probably is pushing himself harder, because he and Tien are more the rivals here than Goku and Krillin. So there's definitely, what's the best way to put it? I definitely think it's more likely that Krillin pushes himself to the point where he can take on Tien and beat Tien straight out of the fight. And really, that's who his biggest competition would be. It would not be Piccolo, because Piccolo's not around. And that's for Goku trying out the pendulum room, training off and on in the hyperbolic, maybe once in the hyperbolic time chamber, and just training with Kami in terms of motion with Popo, all that.
I could see Goku's straight up power now going another full year in the hyperbolic time chamber and actually managing to stay in there. Ooh, Goku's power at least at minimum is at 10,000. Maybe even more like a, oh no, full year in those conditions, because it's not just the gravity, it's everything else that comes with it. Oh, maybe more like a 20,000, because he's also practicing his Kaioken, toughening his body up. So he eventually, so that's what that. Maybe I'd say 20,000 between what he does there and the 3 years of training he does, and just brokering peace, keeping an eye on like the Namekians, all that. He's never going outright out of his way to fight anyone. Like he's never because he can actually gauge Frieza's power, so he knows just how strong he is compared to Frieza. Unfortunately, the last thing we can address here is Super Saiyan, because he keeps keeping an eye on, and also there'd be the Yardrat training as well. I forgot that. So Goku gains healing abilities, gains cloning, gigantification, although he probably doesn't use gigantification pretty much ever. But he still probably learns its spirit fission as well to separate the spirit from things. Let's see here. Yardrat healing techniques. What is the Yardrat healing technique? Purunga, yeah. Purunga restores, the dragon restores Goku to full strength during the final confrontation with Kid Buu. Oh, that's healing wishes, not right. Yardrat, where are you? Oh. Can perform healing through advanced techniques. Okay, so basically he learns to heal, learns to clone, all that. So yeah, 20,000 I think is reasonable. But like I said, Super Saiyan is kind of the question up in the air, because he's probably keeps an eye on all the relative evil in the galaxy, including Frieza, and he probably notices when Frieza literally wipes out innocent life. And he is probably just, I was like, ah, damn it! Damn it, Frieza! One day! I just don't know if it's like, I think it may be like the constant saying it over and over again that maybe triggers Super Saiyan at some point during those years. And then also it would be the years between that and Dragon Ball Z too. So maybe over that time he gets his power level, let's just say, is around 50,000. I think that's reasonable. He just doesn't have the avenues for a lot of heavy duty training that would jump his power level up extreme. Because he doesn't have constant access to a gravity chamber like he did again and going to Namek. He can only use the hyperbolic time chamber twice, which he probably already does. And like the Yardratting techniques aren't techniques that are really designed to boost your power level. They're more, they're spiritual. They're more hacks, I guess. But he does get to know, he probably does stop on Earth, talk to these people a bit more, befriends them. Yeah, Krillin is now the martial arts champ. He wants to test his mettle against Goku, easily whoops his ass, but that encourages him to, and maybe even he tries all of them all together and just not even using his arms. So they all try harder to beat him down. Or try hard to beat him down. They all try harder to get stronger so they can beat him down, which would probably put Krillin, I don't know, maybe in the 300 range for his power level. Tien's probably around 300 as well. He's stronger here. 350, 400, why not for Krillin, who is the stronger one. But unfortunately, beyond that, not much else would happen. Again, over those years, could Goku, after seeing all the atrocities of Frieza, and even some of the Saiyans, like his own people, could he maybe try to could he maybe go Super Saiyan for just pure anguish and rage, because it is in the Saiyan nature? It's possible. I think, you know what, I'll say yes. I think do it for that long, see that much, and get pissed off for that long. Yeah, I think eventually he would hit Super Saiyan. Which means now, and Kaioken-wise, he's easily at a 10 minimum. So 50, or, let's put him at his Namek level. I think that's more reasonable. So then 90 grand, which means he's got a full power level right now, about 4.5 million. And if we times 10 it with an Ozaru transformation, it's, because he still has his tail, it'd be like 45 million. That would be the other thing we'd have to address too, is we know in Dragon Ball Dama, it's mystically activated, and then Goku just could activate it after that. But where it went, no one knows. Again, there's no canon explanation of why he can't do it. We know Dama's not canon either, so there's that. But because it's mysticism as well, I'm not saying Goku's going to have Super Saiyan 4 right now. I'm just saying the avenues to Super Saiyan 4 are certainly there because he's got Kais and Yardrats and magic that is kind of around him. So it's not impossible for him to get there. But yeah, ultimately he's used Times 10 Kaioken normally. I don't know if he's got control of Zaro. I think that's one thing that when he does go to train with it, he trains off world so he doesn't destroy his home with King Kai. Either way, Goku is getting stronger and stronger, he's feeling more and more confident, ready to maybe try to finish off or do in Frieza. But he also knows because of King Kai and sensing energy that it's not Frieza's full power. So even he knows he doesn't think this is enough, which he'd be damn right it wouldn't be enough. Almost not second, puppy, almost done. So he continues to stay on, grow, look over the world, visits Earth from time to time because he's making friends. He also visits Namek from time to time, makes friends there. And I could even see him at some point visiting Vampa. Now, Vampa I think I'll save for a different part because Broly is a separate Saiyan from everything else. But from the situation. But he doesn't really try to get back involved really in the ongoings of that world until Raditz goes to Earth because he thinks Goku went to Earth. Should also note that Chi-Chi probably married someone. She's not relevant to the story, sadly. And Bulma's dating Yamcha. So when Raditz shows up, that's where Goku is suddenly notices, wait, something's different about the energy on Earth. Wait, is that one of the Saiyans? Apparently they're going to Earth. I'm guessing this must have been where you were supposed to go, or your initial course was set, Goku, before you landed here. And they're not going to be any match for him, unfortunately. Indeed. I've got to get down there. All right, just be careful. And so Goku arrives on Earth to meet his brother. That's where we're going to end part 1. We did a long one. It took me a while to get the energy to actually do the video. Not because I'm tired, just because I'm it's a lazy Saturday. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.